Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about bad weather. Thankfully, it has stopped raining, but earlier today it was raining, and today overall it's just bad weather. In English, when we say it's bad weather, we mean it's raining or snowing. When we say it's good weather, we usually mean it's nice and sunny and warm. But right now we're having a little bit of bad weather. If I was to use other words to describe this weather in English, I would say it's a miserable day, or it's a gross day, or it's a crappy day. That would be an informal way to describe the weather like this. I also might add out there or out here to the end. I might say it's miserable out there today. It's miserable out here today. It's crappy out here today. It's crappy out there today. Or it's gross out here today. It's gross out there today. It all depends on where I am at the moment. Because I'm actually out here, I would use here in all those examples. But anyways, welcome to this English lesson about bad weather. I've actually been waiting for a day like this where we have some bad weather so I can make this English lesson for you. So I mentioned a few ways to informally describe the weather, but how would you formally describe weather like this? If you were watching the news, if you were watching the weather forecast, they would probably say we're having adverse weather conditions. It's quite a mouthful. Adverse weather conditions. You might read the forecast and it might say tomorrow there will be adverse weather conditions in the morning. Please leave early for work. Another phrase we might use to talk about the weather formally is to simply say that we're going to have inclement weather. Now, I pronounce the word inclement the American way, even though I'm Canadian. I think the British way is inclement. I shouldn't even try to pronounce things like a British person. But when you say you're going to have inclement weather, it means the same thing. If you have adverse weather conditions or inclement weather, it means it's going to be raining, it's going to be snowing maybe, and it might even involve a little bit of wind, and it might even be really, really cold. So, adverse weather conditions, a very formal way to describe bad weather, and inclement weather, another way to formally describe bad weather. So sometimes when you have bad weather, bad things happen. The first thing I want to describe to you is to be caught in the rain. When you are caught in the rain, it simply means that there were clouds in the sky, you were walking, and then it started to rain while you were walking. So maybe you drive into the parking lot at work, and as you get out of your car, it starts to drizzle a little bit, and then as you walk to the building, you get caught in the rain. It starts to rain really, really hard, and you get caught in the rain. And then there's a couple ways to describe what just happened to you. You could go into your place of work and say, I got drenched, or you could say, I got soaked. So when you are in the rain, when you get caught in the rain, and when your clothes are basically all wet, you could say, I'm drenched, or I'm soaked, or I got drenched, or I got soaked. So when you describe weather and the actions that can happen, you can get caught in the rain, you can get drenched, and you can get soaked. You might be wondering though, what kind of things can happen to you if it's snowing instead of raining? Well, if you're driving in your car, you could go in the ditch or you could go off the road. When there's a lot of snow on the road, sometimes it gets packed down and it almost turns to ice, and it's very, very slippery. It's very, very slippery. Sorry, I'm for some reason having trouble pronouncing my words today. So when the road is slippery, you could lose control. That means your car isn't going in the direction you want it to go, and then you could go in the ditch if you're out in the countryside, or you could simply go off the road if you are in the city. So, what happens when it snows? Sometimes the roads are treacherous, sometimes you lose control, sometimes you go in the ditch, sometimes you go off the road. But what might happen if you're not in a car? Maybe you're just walking along and the sidewalk is a little bit slippery. You might slip and fall. Sorry, I didn't actually slip and fall there. That was probably a bad idea. What if I had actually slipped and fell? I might have hurt myself and I might have broken my camera. But anyways, maybe you're walking on a surface that is slippery. Maybe there's a lot of snow and ice on the sidewalk, and then there's always the potential that you might slip and fall. Sorry, I forgot to explain the difference. When you slip, that's when your feet slide. And then when you fall, it means your whole body goes down and hits the ground. I was supposed to explain that when I explained the phrase slip and fall. So the first thing you do is you slip. The second thing you do is you fall. So as many of you know, the Toronto Blue Jays, my favorite baseball team, just lost the World Series. And I thought maybe I should talk a little bit about bad weather and sports in this English lesson as well. In sports, when it starts to rain, sometimes they have to stop playing for a little bit, and we call that a rain delay. So if they're playing a baseball game or a football game or soccer game, and they're only half done and it starts to rain, they might pause and have a rain delay and wait for the rain to stop. And then if the rain doesn't stop, they might say the game is rained out. When something is rained out, it means it started to rain during the event or during the game, and eventually they decided to not finish it. The game is rained out. And other things can be rained out as well. If you're going to an outdoor festival or a fair and it starts to rain, you might want to go on social media to check if it has been rained out. So if a sporting event starts and they have to pause due to the rain, it's called a rain delay. And if they decide to stop playing altogether, we would say the game is rained out. Well, hey, thank you so much for watching this little short English lesson. Maybe it's medium length. Maybe this is a medium length English lesson about bad weather, about inclement weather, about adverse weather conditions. I hope you were able to learn some new English words and phrases that you can use in your next English conversation. If this is your first time here, don't forget to click that red subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and I'll see you next week with another English lesson. Bye.